What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Apex, the podcast. The boys are here. We are ready to go. And not a whole lot to talk about here, but we do have a huge interview with Vodery from probably the biggest news story that we'll get into here in a second. But Oversleepers has made it into Pro League. Over the Tripods, we'll give our opinions on that. We'll also talk about the brand new patch and get into that interview with Vodery. Dude, I'm just going to say it. For a 16-year-old kid, his ability to speak is next level. And I could 100% see him after any sort of gaming thing being like something in communications, whether it be like social media management. Like I think he mentioned something about that, or like some sort of speaking. He's good at that. He can communicate. So you're going to want to listen to this interview with Vod. He is very, very cool. It's going to be exciting to see how they do here in the future. Split 1. We'll see how it goes for the Oversleepers. But before we get into all of that, E, how are you doing, my man?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I am mad tired because I've just been on the grind. It's been good. It's been nice to like be able to settle in and like put in those hours and just get on the grind and get after it. And it's been good. I'm very tired though. And I'm on a new schedule where I'm like waking up earlier, and that's been going nice. And yeah, I'd be waking up around I wake up before 6, leave around 6, gym, shower, like meditation, one or the other first, depending on how like wet I am from the gym, like from like lifting or doing the I do like vertical walks, like 12-inch vertical for like 30 minutes, even like a 3 space like pace, like that'll get you. That it's like your calves just chalked. But yeah, and so like that's been really, really good. Getting up early and then just been cranking out these long days. At some point I might end up doing like a little, like doing 2 streams at some point and then having like a little nap in between. But we'll see what happens. I'm just on the grind, putting in the work. Happy to be here. How about you?
Yeah, I'm a huge nap advocate. I saw a guy on social media. He's in The Walking Dead. I don't remember what character he played because I barely watched that show, but I know he was in that. I think he also played Punisher. But that guy, I saw a clip on social media. He just roasts naps all the time. He's like, yeah, naps are for the birds. Whatever that guy is, I'm the opposite. I'm a huge nap advocate. I would say 80% of this podcast, there was a nap right before I recorded because I get off work 5. We record at 7 Pacific. So I come home immediately. I force myself to sleep because I know that I'm going to be up later. Huge nap advocate. If you work one into your schedule, I think it'll do wonders. Maybe not. I don't know. I have no science to back it up. But naps. I'm a nap guy. Other than that, my week has been good. We got football playoffs on the way. Lots of cool stuff with that. Sports. Basically the same stuff I always talk about. That is always fun. It's cold as shit right now where I'm living, which I enjoy. I like it being cold, except in the morning because it makes it extremely hard for me to get out of bed. Other than that, I'm doing good, man. Not too much to say, not too much to do. We've got ALGS action coming up on the 22nd, I believe. So we still have a little bit of time. So not a whole lot of news to talk about right now. But the one major thing that came out from this last week, Oversleepers are into Pro League. We knew that there was one Pro League spot still opened up, and Oversleepers is going to get it. A lot of people were wondering, is it going to be Tripods? Is it going to be Oversleepers? Oversleepers had the most points. Tripods was obviously 1 point away from getting in the last time. People were saying which one should or it deserves to get in from that. Oversleepers wins that battle. They are officially in Pro League, and we're going to talk to Vod a little bit later on about like how that's going to go and how it went down for them. But at least from here, from this side of the table, how was it seeing Oversleepers get in, and do you feel like it was deserved?
Oh, 100% it was deserved. They were the 5th team. They're the first team not making it through the qualifying points. And so they were next up in terms of who threw the points would be getting the spot. There definitely was the question of it being up in the air, given the fact that it was not a qualifying spot that was taken. It was a invite team, and so it would be given up to EA to extend that invite. So there was a lot of people thinking that it would be the pods in order to keep Nick and the MFAM invested and interested in ALGS. But they opted to give it to Oversleepers, which I definitely think is a good decision. Vodery, obviously like the youngest player now, it definitely adds like a nice little storyline. And I think in terms of the attention, I think it'll actually work out better with Nick Merckx being in challengers, because then it'll show a lot of, it'll actually give people more of a reason to be interested in challengers. I think this is going to be the most watched, most paid attention to challenger series that we've seen in a while. And so that I think is something that we'll look forward to. And yeah, it's huge for Oversleepers and the boys. They played better in terms of getting the qualifying points that they were working towards. And so yes, they might not have as big a Twitch numbers as the tripods, but they definitely got the points that they needed to.
Yeah, and going back to just the idea of Twitch numbers, it's hard to compete with the tripods and what they bring as far as that goes. But I will say this, for anybody who's watched ALGS for a while and is like really in tune with the scene, whether you're on the Bluebird app, following everybody, all that kind of stuff, VOD is one of the biggest like up and coming rising people that I've ever seen so far in this scene. I don't have all the knowledge that some of the other people have in this, but I can tell just from reading through the tweets the amount of excitement there is for this team and VOD specifically. Not to discredit his teammates, but like there's just a ton of excitement about this kid. Like very, very excited. I even reached out to Jayhawk before the interview. I was like, was there something I missed? Like, was there like some sort of play, some sort of tournament that like I didn't see? But it's just he's just right now he's an enigma in the scene. Like people really want to see VOD be successful and make it here. So maybe like you said, the Twitch numbers won't necessarily be there, but if this kid continues to perform the way he's been performing and that team continues to keep playing like they've been playing, we're gonna have another problem on our hands as far as Twitch numbers go, in a good way, a good problem with VOD. So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, we're gonna talk to him here in a second. But I think it did make the most sense to have them in next on points. I do understand the argument of like how close tripods were, and like I could have seen it both ways, but I do feel like if it would have went tripods, there would have been a lot left to be desired as far as like the entire system of ALGS and how like it transpired and how it works out. I think it would have been disingenuous like to have the next team up in points not get in. So it just makes sense. And I do agree with your take on the challenger circuit. I think if the tripods were smart, I'm not going to say if they were smart. I'm going to say if the tripods wanted to grow the scene a little bit more, like giving a little bit of a highlight to some of these teams that they're playing against, and kind of going through and talking to some of these people like on stream or something like that would also be huge, because you got the platform for it. It would be super cool, I think, for the rest of the community to see that as well. Get more people involved. And so I agree with that. I think that'd be really, really cool. But Oversleepers gets in. They are next in line, and we'll see how that goes. We've got just a few more days, and we're going to be back in the action, back in the mix, and we can start talking about legit regular season ALGS Pro League stuff. So it's going to be a very, very good time. The only other news we have here is we have the Final Fantasy event that just dropped right now, and we got a patch note with it. And that kind of goes into comp a little bit because there were changes to some of the major legends here. Horizon got some of them. A lot of voice and sound cues with Horizon. Catalyst also got a little bit of like a nerf as well. And those were two legends that were getting played consistently. E, you've been out in the scene. You were playing today. I didn't get to play a whole lot. From your perspective, has there been anything ranked / comp wise that has kind of been game breaking as far as these patch notes go so far?
I wouldn't say game breaking necessarily. I would say like the biggest situation that I've noticed is the SMG nerfs that came in, as the car and the R9 did receive 1 bullet damage nerfs, both. And so definitely makes those guns significantly less effective. Because really, like, 1 damage in Apex actually really does go a long way. And I think it is actually the second time that the R9 didn't get a 1 damage nerf. It had previously been receiving bullet nerfs. And so now it's like they're both getting hit at the damage. So both of them becoming weaker, with some buffs coming to the Mastiff. Definitely has some people thinking that we're going to be seeing a little bit more shotguns come into play and that they'll be more effective. I don't think I'm seeing that. Not yet. I feel like the only way we see a shotgun meta come back is if we see a Gibby meta come back. And the Gibby meta coming back could be as simple as just if in comp, if 10 teams start running Gibby, then that kind of makes everybody else have to play Gibby. Just because Gibby is like kind of a character, how it just plays out like that. And so we'll see what happens. The Volt is definitely, in my opinion, I think the top SMG out there for the floor, as the alternator is in the Crafter, which the alternator is actually way better than it used to with the R9 and car nerfs. I think the alternator, somebody told me that the alternator now has like the second highest time to kill, which I'm not 100% sure if I'm buying that, but that just doesn't seem right. But it definitely is strong. And yeah, R3 still mid. Gun does not shoot damage. Like, it shoots straight, but that thing just you literally just
You're just
it's a
shooting.
BB gun.
Yeah, you're just
You're
shooting.
shooting a BB gun at like Master Chief.
Goliath.
Like, that's what it feels like to be shooting an R3.
Yeah.
But the Volt being on the ground is fun. The repeater is still top dog. You can craft the hemlock if you want to be that guy. And I've been ripping the ballistic. It's super fun. And I'm going to keep riding that wave until I fall off it.
I don't know if I'm talking to Finn or if I'm talking to Enoch right now. Like, that's crazy. Bringing ballistic back. Okay.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. And now I have an heirloom. And so.
Oh no, dude! Don't tell me you did it, bro.
100%. I spent 200. I dropped 200.
No.
I dropped 200.
No.
Of course.
Damn, bro.
Bro, it's an heirloom that you can use on every character.
Do the death boxes, is the death box skin, is that shit dope or what? Or does it look
okay? So so a lot of people are confused. The way that the death boxes work is that it makes anybody who you kill
have it, yeah.
Their death box is the new death box.
But does it look good though?
I mean, it's pretty aesthetically pleasing.
I saw a picture.
I didn't get it. I could have given less of a care about the death boxes.
I know.
I would have spent the money I spent, whether I got the death boxes or not. I wanted a sword that I could carry around when I'm playing Conduit, when I'm playing Ballistic, when I'm playing Cat, when I'm playing literally whoever I want. I can have an heirloom. Like, I have this bad habit of I don't enjoy playing characters as much if I don't have an heirloom. It's one of the main reasons I never
Big
played
EA
Horizon
got you.
was because I didn't. And then they came out with they said universal heirloom, and I said okay.
Bet. Big EA. They
you know what's bad? I think if they came out with another universal heirloom,
you do it again.
Even though I already have one, I'm probably copping it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, that thing is sick.
Yeah. No, I'm almost 100% honest. I 100% believe. I think they're going to be selling animations for universal heirlooms, specifically this one right now because it's the only one. But I do think they're going to sell like different animations that you can add to the arsenal of animations that it already has. Like, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. That'd be crazy if they didn't do that. That'd be crazy. But okay, so you copped it. Let's get the first ever Enoch heirloom breakdown on the show. Out of 10, where's it at?
It's not the best. It depends. It depends on who you ask, right? Because I think the sounds are decent. I think the spin animation, the spam is good. But when you're running around with it, you only get to see like the like the hilt,
Side, yeah.
like the thing you're holding. You don't really get to see the sword too much. Um, but for the most part, it's decent. Like it's not the best, not the best, not the worst, and I'm happy I'm gonna have it on all of the characters that
Yeah.
I think I'll still like for the characters that I have the heirloom. I still think I'll use those characters heirlooms. But for all the ones that I don't, I think
I think that's a
I'll
good
be
way to
ripping the sword.
describe like where you stand with it. It's like if the character already has an heirloom, then I'm running with that original heirloom. But if they
Yeah,
don't, then I'll do this. That's probably like a
yeah,
good place to put it
100
in.
feet.
Yeah. Cause like unless if it was so good that you were like I'm ripping this even over like
The
the one that they
kunai,
already have.
yeah, it
Yeah,
would
then
be
then
that'd be
you
bad.
know it's cool at that point. Like then you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it's like
Oh
it's
no,
badass.
that'd be like that. I don't think EA would ever do that because then, like, if they come out with a heirloom that is so good that you would use it over every other heirloom and you make it on, like, then people would just they would just buy that one and they'd be like, oh, I don't need to buy any other ones because
Yeah.
I already have the best. You know?
Yeah, the only reason I asked you about the Deathbox skin was I saw a screenshot from I don't remember which pro, and it looked so bad. And it may have just been the
Do you think it looks
lighting.
bad? I think it
No,
looks pretty
just
decent.
from that one screenshot. I haven't gone in game. I haven't seen it in game yet. I saw one screenshot of it, and I was like, that looked bad. And it might have just been like the shading in that room, and like it was just the way it looked, but it just didn't look that good. But I've only seen one screenshot, so that's why I asked you. I was like, "Does it look good?" I wanted to see if you had like like, "Oh no, they need to fix something on it." But they can always fix that because I've seen them
Yeah, I mean,
update skins in the past.
I mean, as far as the death box goes, yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
I mean, yeah. I mean, how good can a death box be, really? I mean, that's really what I'm asking you, which maybe not the best question, but I just wanted to know. Also, you mentioned you said the mastiff, little bit of a buff. I Is it a little bit of a buff? Because you pull that thing out faster than like a Western like draw situation where you got like two.
I haven't used it, but yeah, that thing you literally just it is like I would say it's like definitely the
It's almost
best
instant.
close range. Like you get done with like your SMG spray, boom, insta like you basically insta shot. There are a couple people who you can watch and see them running around doing the double pump of they literally just mastiff switch to a mastiff switch to a mastiff switch to a mastiff, which they need to make that they need to make it so that can't happen. I could see it maybe being okay if it was okay, I shoot the mastiff and then I shoot the mastiff, but then in order for me to like I have to at least like like pump after you get your double pump off on each of them. But man, no, you literally just go shot chain, shot chain, shot chain, shot chain. It's just
Yeah, like
that's
Noko, friend of the program, is out there terrorizing people with double mastiff right now. He is running around terrorizing people with the double mastiff, with especially M and K, with how quickly you can swap it. I mean, he's out there. He's just murdering people. In obviously not in real life. Like in the game, he's just going crazy with the double mastiff right now. It's insane. I gave on the interview. I gave the over under 4.5 days before they fix this, and you said you were thinking it. You didn't give an official answer, but what do you think? 4.5 days over under before they were like, yeah, we got to fix that.
I hope so. I would say over.
You say over though. How
Mm-hmm.
many days you think? Like a week?
I'd say around a week.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I'll go around
Yeah.
a week. That's
Yeah.
typically maybe a week, maybe two.
Yeah.
I'll
Other
go under 2 weeks.
other than that stuff and all the cosmetics and whatever, I have seen because there was a lot of complaints about the cosmetics. I for a quick casual corner, shit's insane. That's just crazy. I'll talk about it more on Banner, obviously, because that's more of our lane. But it is kind of wild how much they up that shit. Uh, it is crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. But as far as the actual LTM quick casual corner as well, lots of pros been playing it, and it seems like they're really really enjoying it. So 2 for 3 on LTM's this season. The Revenant one, I don't know if I heard anybody have one positive thing to say about it. But 3 strikes in this one, I haven't played it quite yet, but people are saying it's really, really fun with the different type of abilities you can use and all that. And also they added they added a kill cam to mixtape. I don't know if you saw that, but there's now a kill cam in that, which I'm thinking maybe comes to BR at some point. Maybe they're testing that out. I don't know if they'd ever do it, but like I would love to see how I die in the BR sometimes. There's some kills where I'm like, what just happened?
I
So
hope one day we'll see that.
that
I
would be
hope that we'll
cool.
see that. That'd be good.
So we'll see what happens. But at least it's a start. It's a start. Yeah. So event kind of crazy, kind of cool. Lots of cool stuff. Lots of cosmetic stuff that's a little wild, and that's where we're at. So, ladies and gents, without further ado, let's send it on down to the man Vodery from Team Oversleepers. He talks about how he and his team got into it and what their plans are for the future, as well as some personal stuff too. Just being a 16-year-old trying to figure it out there. Some of the things he's got to deal with in his daily life. So we're gonna hit a quick ad, and on the other side, meet Vodery. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in probably one of the I would say bigger interviews we had in a little while here, because I didn't realize how big of a name that our man here today, Vodery, has given himself so far. But Vod, welcome to the show. I wanted to kick it off real quick. Usually I just say, how are you? How are you doing? Instead, I want to flip it on this interview, and I just want to ask the birth year, because it's crazy. What's the
2007.
good God? Good God. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. 96. Doesn't feel too great. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't feel
97.
too great. 97
Yeah, that's 10
right after
years.
that. Yeah. I mean it's incredible what you're doing right now. But anyway, welcome to the show, Vod. How are you doing,
Thank
my
you.
man? How are
Doing
you
great.
feeling?
I'm
Good.
tired. Long day of scrims and stuff.
Yeah, how'd scrims go today?
I think we got last.
Hey, it's just scrims. They're just
It is
scrims.
just
That's all.
scrims.
Just
Good
practicing.
learning moment.
Yeah.
Just gotta learn.
How'd
Yeah.
that rank sesh go today, though?
It was good. Had fun.
There you
It's
go.
that ballistic difference.
Yep.
Is ballistic the new is ballistic the new craze? Finn was trying to push that on us before he left the pod for like ever. That ballistic was crazy.
I'm leading the charge on the ballistic
was gonna
craze.
say, I
I'm
think-
taking Finn's baton and I'm
I think-
grabbing it and I'm gonna hoist it into comp. Maybe, probably not, but we'll see what happens. It could be fun.
Yep. I think me and you not gaslit ourselves into thinking he was good today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, congrats to him. I'm glad he's still out there. I may be 96, you may be 97. He's got to be triple, quadruple that. So, I mean, he's got to be the oldest one mentioned here so far on this podcast. Ballistic, shout out Ballistic. He's still out there. AARP member, going strong in the Apex games. Okay, Vod. Let's talk a little bit about this entire last few weeks of just craziness, because obviously you guys are in Pro League now. Team Oversleepers, you guys are in there. You guys are in.
Yep.
A lot of people were kind of wondering like who's going to get in. You guys were next up in points, I believe. So I think
Yeah.
all signs were pointing to you guys getting in, but there was a little bit of like, well, tripods were 1 point off in that final week. What was going to happen? So leading in those weeks leading up, and you knew that there was going to be a Pro League spot open. Were you
Right.
kind of like thinking, yeah, we've got to be the ones to get in here?
I think it was like both. It was like I think I tweeted it out like when we found out that a spot was going to be open. I was like, I could understand tripods getting the spot, but I think we deserve it more just how we played. But I would understand if they got it. But I think as a team, I think we 100% wanted it more. Like we wanted the spot as much as we possibly could. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird because like we didn't think a spot was going to open up, and then we got told of the NRG and Stallions combining, and then we were like, now we just have to figure out if they're going to give it to tripods or not. And that was like the whole confusion.
So now then you get, so how did you find out? Was it like an email or
Bro,
like
it
call
was
you?
dude, it was the most absurd situation ever. I was in a call with a few of my friends, and one of them is in the Pro League Discord, and one of them was like, "Hey, congrats on making Pro League," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he pulls up a screenshot of our sub in the Pro League cord with our roles, but not telling any of us. So he was the first person to know, and we didn't find out until like 12 hours afterwards because he thought we got a message as well.
That's crazy. So it just randomly pops up.
Dude,
Like
yeah.
What was that feeling like? Like I mean, obviously you guys have worked really hard. Every team out there is trying to get in. Obviously
Mm-hmm.
everybody's putting in the work, but like you guys were right there the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
and you're thinking like, I got to be fine. Hopefully I get in. I don't know though. What was that feeling
Mm-hmm.
like when you first like found out? Was like disbelief almost?
Um, it kind of still doesn't feel real to a certain extent. Like it probably won't feel real till that first day of Pro League, and then I'll be like, wow, like we actually did it. But like obviously, like we were excited. I don't think I stopped shaking for like 3 hours until after we found out because I was just super surprised by it. But it definitely one of the weirdest ways I've ever learned something that important for sure.
Well,
Um,
now
Did
you
you get
guys are.
any? Was there much tripods like beef going on? Or was there like what was like that interaction like
we
from
actually we didn't
social media
actually
scene?
yeah, we didn't really get much hate. Like we had a lot of people in our mentions going like, "Yeah, you guys deserve the spot, even though we think tripods, would have been better for the scene. You guys did deserve it." It was like really just that. It wasn't
Nice.
really any hater at all.
Love to see that
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
the tripod supporters.
Yeah,
Yeah. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna
never
get.
know.
But now
That
you
is
guys
true.
are in there and you're chilling. You guys are there, and it's definitely been a journey. I kind of want to learn more about the journey, and for people out there who don't know exactly who you are or like what exactly
Hmm.
the Oversleepers are about. I think kind of just going through describing how the team got to be, like how you guys came together, and then were able to put
Hmm.
together this amazing run to get into Pro League. Like, kind of go through that, outline how this all went down.
Hmm. So around, I want to say it was late September, early October. I was playing with Smoke Break. They dropped me, and I was kind of like just looking around for a team, and I knew Charmander through this one solo queue Discord. It was like this like solo queue scrims, and I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, I know you noticed you guys were LF1, but do you want to trial?" We trialed a few times, went pretty well. So I hit him up. I was like, "Hey, I just want to finalize a team. Can we just? Do you guys just want to play?" Got an answer that night. They were like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it." And from then on, we had maybe 2 weeks of experience together before PSQ1 started, if that. And then we performed pretty okay week one. The rest of the weeks we made finals, which is how we did it. But it was pretty random because I thought I was going to be with Smoke Break for a lot longer than what I was. But stuff happens for the better. It seems this time. Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We we have a pretty good team dynamic though right now with everything. So
And what's that team dynamic like? Like, what's been what kind of makes it good for you guys right now?
it's kind of just like dudes being dudes. Really, it's like we make fun of each other. Like we bounce back from problems. Like we never really get too upset. Everything's always like we're always looking straight forward most of the time. Like if we aren't playing well, like someone is trying to reset the vibes most of the time, and we have a good setup. I mean, it's kind of weird having two different generations on one team, and me and JP, because old man, but it works pretty well for us, I'd say. Obviously, we're none of us are used to the level of Pro League yet, but once we start to get a foothold, I think we'll be pretty good.
So you covered your comp background. Can you get into a little bit more what your background in gaming as a whole is to get you to
Um,
this point?
yeah. So I think I started gaming when I was, I want to say 3 years old. I don't think it was any consistent until I was like 7 to 8 years old. But I started on one of the OG CODs. I couldn't remember which one. It was like Modern Warfare 2 or 3 or something. Played that for a bit. I played console until like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and then that was mainly like Fortnite and COD and Rainbow Six and stuff. And then I swapped to PC, and I didn't really play any competitive shooters until Apex. This is really like my main, like my first one to a certain like degree because I played like Valorant and Siege and other stuff on PC, but I never like got into the competitive side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I played like a random tournament like almost 3 years. It'll be 2.5 years ago, I think. And I was like, wow, this is like really fun. And I just kind of never stopped playing since then in this game. I think I swapped MK too at some point. I don't remember when that was though.
Do you regret that decision?
Absolutely not. I go
Good
back
answer.
to go back to controller sometimes, and I'm like, this game would be so boring on it.
Yeah, that's an interesting take always, because the vast majority of players and teams, I feel like, are all trying to switch to controller, going to M&K
Mm-hmm.
from controller. And I'm a controller player. I could just never play mouse and keyboard. It was just, I'd always had one in my hand. It just never really made sense to switch.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of people are switching, and they're looking at it as controller has this built-in ability that is really going to help our team. For you staying on M&K, like I even as a controller player, I remember asking Hal, like, would you ever go back for pure enjoyment? Because he had talked about, the same exact thing. Like, controller is very
Mm-hmm.
boring. It's very monotonous to play. But like, watching a good mouse and keyboard player move around in the game, I feel like it's so interesting. It's so fun to watch. So like, from your perspective, like, is that the part that makes it more fun? Is just the ability on mouse and keyboard to kind of move around more freely and have a lot more ability?
I think to a certain point, yeah, but I think it's more so of like there's just like a lot higher of a skill ceiling on mouse and keyboard than there is controller. Like once you hit like I'd say I don't know like high tier 2 or something, I think the only like thing that you can go from like mechanics wise there is just learning the game and like learning what to do and what not to do. And I think on mouse and keyboard there's always a new height to reach, which makes the game more fun. And like even with movement and stuff, like I'd say I'm pretty good at most of the stuff, but like there's still stuff that like I can't even remotely think of doing, and that's like really cool. Like that's even a possibility. I think that's where like I find like the most enjoyment in the game.
Where do you stand on the biggest issue in the Apex community right now? I'm pretty sure you know what it is, but we've got aim assist, we've got M&K. Where is VOD's official state? This is your chance for an official statement. Where is it?
Hmm.
What exactly is your take on the entire situation? What would you do
To fix them, like fix the situation.
if you think it needs to be fixed? If you think it's fine where it's at, then that's fine as well. I just want, what is the official statement?
I'm not too sure honestly. I think it's at a good place where it's at because I think there's enough balance to where like even with the new SMG nerf, like I was using shotguns and scrims today, and it felt just as balanced as it was a year ago. But it's still the first day, so I'm not 100% on that. But it felt good today with the new R9 and car changes and stuff. So I think we're at a good spot right now.
So you're kind of on the opposite side of the fence, where it's like aim assist is a problem and needs to be dealt with and needs to be handled. It's more to you, it's like a little bit more balanced, would you say?
I don't know if balance is the word. I think it's manageable where it's at currently, right?
Hmm.
Because like I mean, I think a good example is like Blackhand at champs. Like you don't need a controller player to succeed. It's just like it will help you 100%. Is it the main reason you're going to succeed? No. Like at the end of the day, if you're playing the game correctly and you're like learning it, you're going to succeed regardless. And I think that's what people should take away from it. But you know, everyone has their difference of opinions.
I do think that from a viewer perspective, if you're watching Apex, if everybody was M&K, I do think it'd be a lot more fun to watch, to see some of the different like aspects of movement and like the way different people are using certain weapons and different legends. I think that would be more fun, because I remember the early days it was mostly M&K. Um,
It
but
was like
with
yeah, like
It was
basically
like
entirely MK.
yeah, wasn't
yeah,
like I think Snipe was the only like mainstream controller player way back when.
and then the G2 boys, they kind of
Yeah,
came
G
in
two
and
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Snipe Down and Wig were like the OGs,
Yeah.
and then the Roller Boys went over, uh, and then Naughty was around then as well, and then they had the whole wave.
Yep.
yeah, then it started happening. Moving off of aim assist and all that
Mhm.
bullshit, moving all that to the side. You're 16 years old, man. It's crazy. Like, you are in a spot where you're at such a young age, but you're already in a position of just so much like ability, talent, and you have a great opportunity in front of you. Like,
Mhm.
outside of this entire thing though, it's got to be like you're still 16, like you're still a kid basically, and you're out
Hmm.
here, you probably have a lot of other things you got to do outside of this. Like what exactly is the life schedule for you personally? Is it like, are you still going to like in-person high school? Like what like what's the situation going down as far as like being your age but also having this opportunity in front of you?
Um, I started online school a year and a half ago. Like I switched from full in person to full online just because of like different reasons that I probably won't stay online. But I swapped to that, and it's definitely been good for Apex and just like my whole gaming career in general. But I think I'm going back to in school next year. I think regardless of however I do online, just because I feel like I need some sort of like, actual human interaction other than online for just to like, function as a person, myself at least. And I think most of my days literally just wake up, I get some schoolwork done, and then I just play the game. Like that's basically my day. Um, I think I haven't really changed from that schedule in a while. I probably should. It would probably make myself a lot healthier and stuff, but that's currently just where I'm at. I just play the game, get my work done, and then do whatever I want with the rest of my day.
Yeah, I do think that's an interesting take to have where it's like, I should go back. I should have more interaction because it seems like a lot of times we move away from that, especially if
Hmm.
you're in that spot that you're in. But I do think that would probably be like a positive thing to do, just to
Hmm.
have like, just be around people in general. But yeah, very, very interesting. Look, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I just completely spaced it. I had it, and then I just completely just gone.
My bad, my fault.
No, you're chilling. Okay, no, I got it, I got it. Um, so would you say that your time as being like an online school attendee has been like critical in the amount of time that you've been able to devote to Apex as something that you're pursuing?
um, I would say
Or
yes.
were you still able to put in a bunch of time going to school for like the regular like 8 hours?
Yeah, I mean, it was like 8 hours of school. I'd come home, eat, and then I'd play the game the rest of the night, regardless. But like, I think the only thing that has changed is like there's a lot less for me to worry about outside of the game being in online school. Like it's literally just family, school, game, stream, whatever, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think having um, the ability to just focus on one thing at a time online, whereas like in school you have you know teachers, other students, other friends, stuff like that, like all of that adding on to like stress or whatever, and just like taking that away, it definitely has like jump started like me being able to like learn differently when it comes to games and stuff, because there's a lot less on my mind and there's a lot less, I want to say, possibility of like me being distracted while like scrimming, or like if I'm in pro league scrims and something else is going on in school and I'm thinking about that, that would be a distraction. I don't really have that like some other kids in my position would have. So I think it definitely has helped over the time. But I don't think time wise it has really changed anything other than maybe like a few extra hours in the morning or something. I'm still playing from 2 to 10 or whatever it is.
So as far as like once again being in your position, being young, I think the family aspect plays a part as well because we've talked to a lot of
Hmm.
people on here where it's like maybe family didn't agree at first and they didn't see what exactly was the point of all of this.
Hmm.
As far as your family, like personally, has it been like, have they been pretty supportive of you, kind of chasing after this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I first started getting into PC gaming, like I was still playing. I think I was playing baseball at the time when I got my first computer, and I stopped playing baseball because of COVID, and I never really got back into it. So they knew that I wasn't probably going to get back into that. So they were like, as long as you're doing well in school, we don't really care what you pursue outside of it, but like do your best in it. Like don't quit whenever you're already ahead, that sort of thing. And my dad and my mom have been very supportive, can't speak, of like what I do and like how I do it. So very thankful to them for sure.
Was it kind of weird to explain to him at first, like, "Hey, like I'm actually cracked at this"?
Dude, I texted my mom. I was like, dude, we made Pro League. And she was like, I don't know what that means, but congrats. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll link this to you, read through it. And she was like, wow, this seems serious. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty serious.
Yeah.
It definitely was solid.
I picture like the typical mom answer, "That's great, honey," and then just like
It's
having
that's
no
pretty much
idea.
it. Yeah, that was pretty much what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's always interesting because we've had a lot of surprisingly, like, I don't know if it's going to be surprising in a few years, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of younger players, like players sub 18,
Mm-hmm.
kind of getting into this. And, we've kind of gotten like a mixture of answers, like some, a little bit different than others on how much the parents were like into it. It seems like
Mm-hmm.
I think it just kind of goes by, whichever situation is yours, but it always is interesting to see how the family reacts. So I'm glad to see that yours is being supportive of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, man, it's just so crazy, man. 16 years old, getting into this whole thing. Let's move back over into the team aspect a little bit and
Mm-hmm.
getting into Pro League now because you were climbing uphill. The whole entire process was let's just get to Pro League, let's just get to Pro League. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
there. How do you switch focus from, okay, we were trying to get this thing, we were able to squeak in. Now we got to focus up, and we're not just playing, the some random teams out there. There's some
Mm-hmm.
teams in that series that aren't even close to the teams you're going up against now. Like, have you guys spoken as a team at like to kind of prepare yourselves for what you're about to get into? I mean, obviously you just mentioned scrims at the beginning of this interview. Didn't do well today. Like what are some of the
Mm-hmm.
things you guys want to work on getting ready to start Pro League in just a few days?
Um, I think the main focus for us currently is like just like keeping up with the speed of like how fights and just like rotates and stuff go down because we aren't really the like a good fighting team. Like we're good enough to like keep up, right? But we aren't like we're not Nine Lives, we're not Evolution. We're not a team that's gonna just absolutely dominate whoever they fight. Like even if it's, a pro team like that's been here for a while. So we've been playing zone a lot and keeping up to the speed of like zone teams like that have been doing this and have been playing out these POIs and the speed for who knows how long. It's a big challenge to take. It's definitely not easy, and we've talked about this. We've understood that like there's going to be a lot more error than there is succeeding for a good amount of time. But like our main goal now is to just not get relegated this first split, and then second split go for something more serious like LAN or like participating in a regional finals and stuff like that. But the difference is it's actually like astronomical. Like even in bad scrim quality, you can still tell the difference of like how like speed and like stuff actually affects like all your fights and like loot and stuff like that. Because it's just a different game. Like we're getting better at it. We're rotating quicker. We're starting to hold our own in fights more and more. But getting there it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in gaming in general.
Yeah, it's crazy how much better like these players are. You feel like you reach a ceiling where it's like, okay, I feel like this like we're among the best of this group, and then you get into that next group and it's like, holy shit, like we're not
Yeah.
even. Yeah, it's wild. As far as like working on fighting, is there a way that you guys do that outside of scrims? Like, do you guys like do any sort of like? I've heard other teams talk about team deathmatch. They go into like
Hmm.
deathmatch and just try to focus on fighting in that. Like, is there anything you guys have done recently to try and help out with fighting?
Um, we haven't started it yet because JP's schedule and my schedule has been like kind of overlapping on when I'm waking up and when he's like getting off to like take care of his kid and like work his job and stuff. So it's been pretty hard to get us like as a full team. But we're starting to work more on like TDMing, playing ranked together, just doing whatever we can to like improve as a team instead of as individuals because it's a team game. But I think we're starting up soon on like, so like you said, those TDMs and like fighting teams that we know are better than us, just to see like how the gap is and like what we're lacking compared to others. But we're definitely going to be starting that soon, and I think it'll help us a lot because like one of our main issues right now is just how we calm to each other and how we play off each other, and that's what that's for. It's practice to get better at it.
What would you say as like an individual are like the best ways that you practice to get better in terms of being able to like show up on like to that comp day, like to
Hmm.
those comp days ready to go?
Um, it's really out of game stuff that helped me those last few PSQs because the first PSQ it was my first time ever competing in ALGS. And it was like really nerve wracking. Like I was like shaking in end games, and I was like nervous to like fight teams I knew that like I thought was better than me. You know what I mean? Like that was I got nervy really. So I like learned like how to like reduce stress and how to like make yourself like calm in situations like that, and it's been helping a lot. Um, yeah, I mean that's really it. You can like try to like learn how to aim while shaking, but it's pretty hard to like actually like get a foundation for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you just have to like kind of get rid of the shaking or like nervousness.
And in terms of like keeping that stress down, what are, if you don't mind sharing, like what would you say
Hmm.
have been some of the most successful things that you've implemented in terms of dealing with that?
I think the like the main thing I implemented, like obviously I've tried like cutting some stuff out of my diet that kind of stresses you out, stuff like that. But I think the main thing that's helped me is box breathing. Just like when I feel stressed, I just it's like in for 4 seconds, hold 4 seconds, out 4 seconds, and then hold again, and that calms me down a lot. Like I'll do that. Like we'll be sitting center zone sometimes, and I'm like, okay, this zone could pull to us. This could be a really good game for us. Just like in my head, and I'll just be like, okay, let me box breathe for like a minute or two. Let me calm myself down so I can think straight, and it works. I started that week 3, and that was the week we had the best results.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think I
been
saw a
working.
TED talk on that. I think I saw like a lady describing exactly like the process on how to do that, like very specifically how to get that done. Something like
Yeah.
that. It was something that I learned in college. It was like for a news class, and
Hmm.
before you go on camera, like to do that to like get
Hmm.
yourself correct in that way. So yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen that work in the past. Is there anything else you do outside of the game to help you prepare for things before you get into like a big tournament or anything like that? Is there like, I know some people will just go into the range and just kind of calm their nerves in there. Some people say they take a walk. Like, is there anything you do outside IRL before something happens where you're trying to get your mind right?
Um, I think I just focus on making sure like I eat and I drink beforehand because like you need energy and stuff. I think another I kind of just I hang out with my cats a lot whenever I'm stressed. So maybe that helps a lot too. But I haven't really
What are
seen a
the
big change in that.
what are the cats' names?
One is Dobby because he has all of his legs are black except for one and it's white, so he has like one sock. And
There you
then
go.
the other one's name is Quill because she looked like a porcupine when we first found her. Or
Sick.
might it? Yeah, porcupine. Yeah, or
Are they
hedgehog. It's
in
one of the
are
two.
are they in the room as it's going on?
Um,
Any
Quill
tournament?
is sometimes. Dobby doesn't really show up in my room a lot. He hangs out with my grandma a lot more than me.
Yeah, he knows the pressure's on. He's trying to just give you
Mm-hmm.
some space. That's probably what it
Yeah,
is. That's what it is.
yeah, 100%.
No, that's cool. That's cool. EJ, have another one? I had one and I lost it.
You lost it?
Oh, yeah, I lost it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. So in terms of how big is the age difference between you and JP?
15 years. It is he.
Fif-
Yeah, it's he's an old man. He turned
and so
31 a few days ago.
he turned how old?
He turned 31 a few days ago.
Dude, that man older than Noko.
He's the oldest MK player in all of the pro leagues.
Hey, wait, and he's on MK too?
Yep.
I thought both your teammates were rollers. I thought
No,
you were the
no.
only
Char's roller. He's
Man,
the only one.
you guys really playing the game on hard mode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your guys' age difference is almost as old as you. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
absurd. Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
I always make fun of
Respect.
him. I always make fun of him, dude. I call him old man at least every chance I get.
Oh, you
have,
got to.
have you noticed like a difference in just like the dynamic when it's like somebody that I mean, it kind of reminds me of like going to work. Like,
Hmm.
you have a like I'll go to work and I have like a 54-year-old dude who like we rag on each other all the time, and I'm 27, and it's just like the age difference is crazy. We'll go to like a work party, drink
Mhm.
beers together, but then outside of that, it's like we have nothing in common other than
Right.
like just the place that we work at. Like, do you guys have any like is it that kind of dynamic?
Um, I mean, I think to a point, yeah, because like he's still young. Like 31
Yeah,
isn't really
yeah,
that
he's
old.
definitely not that bad. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean in gaming terms, the guy's ancient, but
yeah.
in these terms, definitely there's not much difference for sure. Um, Low key, it's funny because he's been pro in other games, so he knows what this is like getting to the top and then having to constantly improve. Same with Char. Char was pro with in the same game as him as well, so it's been pretty good. Their mentals and stuff are a lot really good, which is as expected of people older than me. But I definitely feel like the younger brother on the team a lot, where I'm just like I'm the only one that's like getting like super frustrated and stuff like that.
Who?
Have you ever tried Lil Broing
Oh,
either
all
of
the
your
time,
teammates?
all the time. Yeah, no,
Dude,
it's
because
it's
I'm
like the
not gonna
number
lie,
one thing.
Freddie will try to call me Lil Bro, and I'm just like, do not even think
Call him
you are
buddy.
10 years old. I'm like, you are 4'4", and then
Yep,
he's like, I am 4'5".
yep,
You got
yeah.
me
No,
there.
I think I can lowbrow Charmander a lot more than I can JP because JP is just it's JP. Like he's up there. But
It's tough to Lil Bro a guy when he has like a kid.
yeah, it's very
Nice.
hard. Yeah,
What was the game they went pro in?
Splitgate. They were both pros for Splitgate.
Oh, there you go.
JP was on Moist and T1, and Char was on E United before they collapsed.
And then you said JP was pro in other games. Was that the only one, or was there another one?
I think he played COD forever ago, I think, but I don't really know much about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I was thinking about this. I don't know if they do this, but like,
Hmm.
are they hitting you with life advice all the time?
Oh no, God
No.
no,
Okay.
no,
I was gonna say this probably gets annoying as shit if they're hitting you with life
no,
advice all the
dude.
time.
Dude, I'll
Yeah.
tell him. I'll tell him like I'll be like, yeah, I'll be on at like 3 p.m. because that's when I'm waking up because like my
Yeah.
schedule will be bad. And JP will like, dude, you gotta get it together, man. And I was like, nah, I'll be fine.
Yeah. I'll be all right. What do
I'll be
you
fine.
know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I just picture because like same thing happens at work too. It's like you got an older guy telling you, well, when I was your age, I was doing this, and you're just like, dude, you're probably right, but I don't want to hear it. Like
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
let me make my mistakes. I do think though they probably have the best advice for just being a pro. I don't know if
Oh,
they ever hit you with
absolutely.
any of that.
Yeah. I
Have
don't
they
think.
hit you with like the different ways that you just need to like carry yourself and different stuff like that? Because we have seen people in the Apex scene, like like one of my favorite guys right now. I won't name him, but it's like there are people who kind of chalk their own opportunities at a young age because they're a little bit too rambunctious, and it's like they don't have that guidance to make sure that they
Right.
don't do something dumb before you know it's too far gone. Like, have they kind of like helped you with that a little bit?
Um, they didn't really help me out with it. Like specifically, I made friends with Fallout a while ago, and he kind of helped me along that road. That was like he did that for me. That was like really him. So he helped me with that. I think that was actually like almost a year ago now. So it's been a while. But I've never really been the type to like get aggressive or just like call people things at all. So that's never really was me.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty passive person 90% of the time. So
100%. I would say this too, just from talking to you. Obviously, like we've talked to a lot of people in the show. For your
right.
age, very well spoken, which is like
Hmm.
we have guys who are on here who are like 28 plus that don't
Hmm.
speak as well as you do sometimes. It is kind of
Yeah.
impressive, and so I think for anybody else who's younger out in the scene, I think you would be probably like a very good role model to kind of look after, despite
Hmm.
role model is a crazy word to say for like a 16-year-old, but like very well put together. So
Hmm.
like, I think that's something you can, hold on to. And getting moving over into Fallout a little bit. I know you
Hmm.
guys have like a good history. Can you kind
Hmm.
of go through how you and Fallout came to be, like how you guys met, and then how he's kind of helped you along the way?
Yeah. So
But wait, real quick before you answer that, we got to give credit to where credit is due, because Fallout,
Dog.
from like when we had him on way back when, he called you out and he listed you as like, that man Vodery is next up.
yeah,
Dog.
he
And here we are.
he's actually like in terms of like the online space. I think him and maybe like 3 other people have been like my number one supporters for a while now. Like I was like bottom of like the PSQ barrel when I met Fallout, and he was like still there. So he was like, "This is the next Hal. This is the next whatever." And I was like, "Dude, you're a character for sure." And it's kind of funny that he was kind of correct and that I was the next into pro league. It's pretty funny. It's surprising, really. Guy's like a prophet, really.
How did you guys' paths cross? Like, how did you guys kind of
Um,
meet?
I was on Twitter and I saw the tweet. I didn't follow him before this. I think one of my friends commented or retweeted or liked it, and it was like, "I'm hosting these Fallout customs. Come join." And I was like, "That seems fun. I have nothing to do right now. I think I was just got done with like scrims or something." So I was like, "You know what? I'll join." And then I think I dropped like back to back 4Ks in those customs, and he was like, "Wow, this guy is like really good," and that just like kind of started it. Um, he's been a major help to me as like growing as a person and stuff as well.
Yeah,
Like it's been great.
Fallout's a guy.
Dude, he's great, man.
He's the guy. He is the
Yeah.
guy.
hmm
How'd you get your name?
Couldn't tell you. I
just
can't lie to you, dude.
random?
He just
I
woke
was
up one day and had it.
it was no, it was like I was like back when I was on console. I had an iPad. I was an iPad kid. I know. And I would watch Twitch on it while I was playing like 2K or whatever game I was like infatuated with at the time. And I heard someone say, Do you have the VOD for that?" And I was like, "VOD? That sounds cool." And I was like, "I'm never gonna be able to get a 3-letter name. No platform allows that." So I was like, "Let me add something to the end." And I like went through a ton, and then I got to like Uri, and I was like, "That sounds like it rolls off the tongue." And I found out it's like a last name from like the 1400s or something. And I was like, "That makes sense."
What was there like a definition of what it meant? Did it have
Hold
like
on.
a
Let me
let's
look it up. I have Vodery.
in real time?
Voder means an electronic device that is capable of producing a recognizable approximation of speech.
That's crazy.
That's what
And
that
that was like an
means.
old. It was like an old
I
name.
guess. I don't know. There's like an old like jazz person with the name Vodery as their last name.
There you go.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I can't find it anymore. I just looked up Vodery to see if I could find it, and it was my links that popped up. So, oh, Will Vodery, here it is. Actually, a composer, orchestrator, and conductor.
Yeah. I mean, it just fits.
It
It just
does.
fits. That is kind of
Mhm.
crazy though. Usually we always get like this crazy like backstory of like, oh yeah, it was like a nickname I had when I was a kid. It is kind of funny to just be like the most common Twitch phrase you hear is just
Yeah,
like pull
it's
up the
literally what
VOD
it
on
is.
that.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just thought it sounded cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I think I was like 12 when I made this name, or 13.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
funny.
just a few years ago.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
just not
Fair
that
enough.
not even that long ago, so
Yeah. No, that's fair.
yeah. You said you played baseball. What position did you play?
I pitched in first base. I was
Righty,
always a
lefty?
righty.
There you go.
I was always like a lot bigger than kids in my age group, so I was always like first baseman if I wasn't pitching.
Do you have a go-to pitch?
Dude, I used to be able to throw a knuckle curve.
A knuckle curve?
Yeah, it was pretty mean.
There we go.
I think it kind of ruined my elbow though.
Yeah, I've heard it does that. I've,
Yeah,
I've heard it can do that to you. That's crazy. That's crazy. Do you ever miss like going out there?
sometimes. Yeah, definitely sometimes. I'll see like old pictures and stuff, and I'll be like, man, I miss it. Kind of like an old man reliving his glory days.
Yeah, yeah. You're definitely there. Yeah. The old man part. Do you ever think that we have talked to people about this a lot?
hmm
The integration with sports and being able to thrive in video games. We have no scientific proof behind it. But Enoch, D1 lacrosse player, we've
hmm
had a ton of other people who played a lot of sports who are now like doing well in this scene, and not obviously not just Apex. It goes
Right.
like through all the different scenes. But do you think like sports taught you anything that kind of helped you along this way, or do you think it's kind of just a coincidence?
I think maybe not so the sport, but like coaches and like being like teammates with other people at like young ages like that definitely helped me a lot. Because like just being able to like show respect to people in the same position as you, that helps a lot when it comes to esports. Because like you'll see people that are like considered really good at the game, but then you'll see them disrespect their teammates. Like I won't even give Hal as an example because like even though he yells at them, he still shows them respect, right? Like he still like understands that they're people, they make mistakes. But like other people in the scene, I'm not gonna name anybody, but they'll yell at their teammates and they'll just show zero respect, and it just doesn't really make sense to ever want to be teammates with someone if you're not going to show them respect. And I think that comes from sports. Like I feel like that stems from sports a lot because like the first thing you're taught is like show respect to your teammates, play, give it your all. That's like the first two things you learn whenever you play any sport. And I think that's where that comes from, really.
That's awesome, man. I like to hear that. I always love to hear like what happens with sports. I love sports, so just hearing kind of how it, because I
Mm-hmm.
think people kind of disrespect esports right now as far as like what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's a big crossover between the two. Obviously, one's a little bit more physical, and
Right.
the other one's not. But I do think there's a lot of aspects, like you mentioned, like being a team. A lot of times, too, like retired athletes after they're done with sports, it'll be like they miss the locker room the most, being around their
Yeah.
teammates, being around those people, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a big aspect of like all of that. So yeah,
Right.
man, that's good stuff. E, did you have anything else?
Yeah. So um what is like the in your like short term goals of like once you're done with Apex, do you have any idea what you want to do moving forward after that, or are you just not even worried about it, just living in the moment that you're in right now?
I think it would have to be do with something in like marketing and or like managing, like a social media manager that helps market their client, or like an agent for like someone of some sort, something like that. Because I think I've got a decent handle on like what you need to do to grow a bit. I don't think I'm like the greatest at it, obviously, or else I would be a lot bigger. But I think there's like I have some sort of understanding of it, and I think if I like took classes or something, I could be a lot better at it. But I think that's probably what I'd end up doing outside of like gaming if this doesn't end up panning out fully as I want it to.
Do you have college in the plans?
Not currently. I'm not
You
someone
don't
who's
need
in
it.
the books.
You don't
Yeah,
need it.
Yeah,
yeah.
as
I'm,
somebody who
I'm
graduated from college, it was a big waste of time. Unless you want to be
yeah,
like a doctor or something, that's good. But like
yeah.
if yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I'm not a
oh
big like studying person at all, which is kind of weird because I spend way too much time watching like past tournaments, so it makes no sense. But
yeah. I mean, I think it depends on the person. I will say this disclaimer: I did learn things in college,
yeah.
but I do think it was a scam. That's just my experience. My
Fair
experience, it was a
enough.
little bit of a scam. I don't think I needed to go. But for other occupations and things like that,
Hmm.
could be really good for you. Also, you do learn a lot in college. But at the same time, it costs a shitload of money, and they take
Yep.
all of it all the
Yep.
time. Speaking of studying, though, this is one thing we haven't touched on at all. Have you guys done any like VOD reviewing? Do you guys add that
Yeah.
into your arsenal of things as like a team? And what exactly are you guys focusing on when you're going through VODs? Is it more like the team fighting, like you mentioned, like you want to get better at fighting, or is it
Mhm.
just the rotates and all that kind of jazz?
I think right now we're working on like being able to put ourselves in a position to be comfortable to fight. So I think we focus on stuff like that a lot more. Like team fighting is obviously like it's a main aspect of what we have to do. But like if we can put ourselves into positions where we don't have to team fight until it's like super late in the game, like we can like put that on the back burner almost. Like obviously it's important, but we can like put it in the back a bit until we get to the point where we're consistent. And then once we're consistent in zone, if we can become a really good fighting team, it would be like really really good for us, because then it would just be minimal mistakes that will end up biting us.
And you mentioned the past tournaments. Are you just
Hmm.
kind of watching like popular moments, like funny moments, or like just amazing moments that happen, or are you trying to like go through watch these to figure out what you guys could do better as a team?
A little bit of both, honestly. Like,
Just love the
it's
game. You just love the
yeah,
game.
yeah. It's yeah. I mean, like old content from like season like 7 to like 14 is just like really good to watch because like you can learn like literally you can learn anything even from like funny clips like people putting themselves in bad positions and stuff. So like if you're just watching the game, you can and taking in knowledge. It's like really good for me at least. Some people might not work that way, but that's how it works for me, and it's been working so far. So
Has from watching all those older tournaments, there's been so many
Mhm.
different metas that happen. Is there any envy on your part of like, I wish I could have played in this meta? Is there one in the past that like
dude,
kind of sticks out to you?
Gibby Val Caustic, dude. If I was able to play in that meta, bro, I would actually my love for this game would be 4 times what it is now.
Yeah, that was
Who are you?
Kungarna,
Are
I
you
think.
the Gibby?
I have like 6K kills on Gibby, man.
Bring
I
him
play Gibby.
back.
That's what I'm saying, man. Dude,
Just bring him back.
every time a patch note goes down, it's like SMG nerf or something. You can probably open up my Twitter and there'll be a Gibby meta tweet coming back.
Yeah.
I just had one yesterday that hit like 400 likes or something.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy how quickly people go back on things. Like I remember in the middle of Gibby
Absolutely.
meta, everybody was just like, "I want to die. Like this is the worst." And then you
Mm-hmm.
get to the meta we have now, and people are like, "Honestly, Gibby meta wasn't really that bad." And then we go back to Gibby meta, and people be like, "I hate everything. It sucks."
Yep.
But Gibby meta was one of the funnest to watch. Those bubble fights, it is just like top tier. Bubble fights are top tier. You can't
Yep.
beat them.
That and like when Gibby Meta was at its peak, like peak Sentinels gameplay, like watching them punch out Hal and stuff like that was actually just the best moments in Apex for sure, in my opinion.
Yeah, I miss it. I want to bring it back. Let's bring him back. I think it's time. We've wasted too much time with all these other legends.
I agree.
It's
I
Gibby
mean, hey,
time.
with that Mastiff buff, we'll see.
Hey, that Mastiff buff though.
Dude,
Gibby with the double Mastiff might just be the.
dude, the purple stock Mastiff is so absurd.
Oh, dude.
Did you guys see the clip of Yanya using it on Twitter?
Yes, yes.
Bro, it's so absurd.
It's ridiculous. I saw one with Noko too, just quick swapping back and forth.
Yeah.
Over under 4.5 days before they like revert that.
Oh, it'll be gone in the morning.
Yeah.
That's like one of the
That's
worst
pretty
things they've
bold
had.
of you to
No,
claim.
maybe not in the morning, but that's such a bad change. I like
It
it though.
is really
it
bad.
makes Summon K a lot better for sure.
Yeah, it does. Maybe they just leave it and just say, well, aim assist.
Dude, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be complaining, that's for sure.
Explanation just says aim assist. That's it. They just leave it at that. Eej, you want to hit him with it?
Yeah. All right. So Vodery, every person we have on, I asked them the same question because everybody who we have on is performing in the top 1% of the field that they've chosen, and you certainly fit the bill as the youngest North American, because I believe you did specify that there is a APAC South
I don't know how to
guy
say
who's
his
younger
name.
than you.
Yeah, it's like Arshwort or something. I heard he's really good, so
Our youngest North American player
yep.
in Apex Legends history. What is one thing that you've learned that you could share with someone who, regardless of the field that they're pursuing, could be able to apply in their effort to get to that top 1%?
Probably never give up. Honestly, there's been tons of times where I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing this game, and then I stuck with it, and it works out as long as you're like always like thinking about improving yourself or whatever you're trying to do, just getting better at it. Just never quit.
There we go. There we go. Now, I normally don't ask one last question. Usually Ease is the last, but I do have one last one for you. So you talked a little bit before about you guys getting into this split of Pro League, trying not to get relegated is like the thing, just kind of seeing where you guys land and then Split 2 doing a little bit better. For your final goal at the end of Split 2, do you guys think you can make land? Like, do you feel confident in the ability to get to land? Or do you think maybe it's going to be a next year kind of thing?
I think if we're doing the same thing we're doing now, where we're always looking to improve, we're playing the game as much as we can, we're constantly improving and or studying other players to base our gameplay off them or whatever, I think LAN would be achievable for us by split 2. I don't think our current levels or current skill levels would, make us be able to get to LAN. But I think if I mean, anyone can make LAN with, it'll be like what, 6 months till split 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of time. Like
A
a
lot of
full
time.
meta change could happen by then.
A
Like
lot of time.
that's a lot of time to improve and get better. So I think it would be doable for us. I think we'd have to put in a lot of time to get that done though. But I think all of us are willing to. So
There you go. The reason why I brought it up again is because usually I don't feel like we get that kind of honesty of
Mhm.
like where exactly the team is at. And I think for you guys, it really fits because number one, you guys just got in free agent roster, and with the team that you guys accumulated right now, you've got a
Mhm.
lot of like different like aspects going in. You've got a little bit older players, you've got a really young player, and I think to have that expectation of like I think we can just avoid like these like the relegation aspect and stuff like that. I actually think that's like a healthy place to be, like having a healthy expectation for what
Mhm.
you guys where you guys are at right now. But I do think you guys can, if you guys really piece it together. I think split 1 isn't out of the realm of possibility. Like I
Mhm.
don't think it's completely out of the realm. So, hopefully split 1 we just figure it out. We just get
I
it right
mean,
out of the way.
can't say I would be upset with that for sure.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Well, Vodery, thanks for hopping on the show, my man. It
Of
was a pleasure
course.
talking to you.
Thank you for
And
inviting me.
hopefully, yeah, no worries. And hopefully next time we talk to you, man, you're either at LAN or potentially holding up that trophy, man. Thanks for hopping on.
No problem.
All right, ladies and gents, that was Vodery. Thanks to Vod for hopping on the pod. Vod on the pod. It was a good time. Like I said, very well spoken, very good guy. I think I've never met him in person, but I can assume from just talking to him. Seems like a really good guy. Can't wait to see what he does coming up here in Pro League. Should be a good time to see how Oversleepers does. Enoch, let's get into the heart to heart real quick. Heart to heart time. Heart to heart time. What you got for me, man?
I need to be more grateful.
Yeah?
I just need to be more grateful. That's just where I'm at.
Was there like an instance this week that was just like, it just hit?
I would say that it. I would say like when I say like I need to be more grateful, it's in the sense of like obviously like in streaming like it's
Ebbs
like
and flows.
streaming and content. It's always like you got your highs and your lows, and so I'm not gonna lie. Like I put in 14 hours. I've put in 14 hours yesterday, 12 and a half today, and the combined amount of subs that I got would be like barely above my daily goal for like one day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like 3 hours. I mean, I would say that's like 3 days worth of like streaming that I did. And so, but even then, like nobody owes me shit, right? Like just because I get on stream doesn't mean like nobody owes me subs. And so I should like, even like there's part of me that could be like, oh, like I used to get on and I would get like 100 a day, like minimum or whatever. And and so to go and highs and lows. And so it's just a reminder of like, even though if I'm going through something that is a perceived low, it's still like I have way too many good things in my life that I need to be grateful for, that I shouldn't be spending any amount of time allowing myself to be negative about, oh, like I didn't get as many subs as I would have liked. And like, yes, like it's something that it's like, okay, well, like that's also my like a large part of my job. And if that and if I don't get as many as I need to be getting, then like, okay, like we might be ending up in we might need to figure something out. But I just need more grateful.
Yeah.
And then I know that like the more grateful I am, the more things I'm gonna have to be grateful for. And it's just all a little mindset game. And it's
Yeah.
just an opportunity for me to to, despite how much I might want to like look at it and be like, oh, like boohoo, look at me. Like, it's just like, even on my absolute worst day, I'm like blessed beyond belief. And I have more blessings than I could possibly name off. And I have so many amazing things going on in my life that the idea of allowing something as silly as not getting as many subs as I would like to be something that like causes me to have like a bad day is like just stupid.
Yeah.
Like it's just so stupid. And so
Well,
I just need to stop being stupid, and I just need to, get a grip and just be like, dude, like realistic, like on my worst day, I have an absolute amazing life. On the absolute worst of my life, it's amazing. And like I just need to just be more cognizant, be more grateful, have more gratitude.
Yeah. No, I think no matter what profession you're in, at any point you run into those types of issues too. Like obviously when we first started this podcast, it was like my job was obviously weighing on me pretty heavy because I was moving into new position that I wasn't super excited about, and it was like different stuff like that. I think even in streaming, man, like it's a dream job to have, but at some point you still have like those little struggles too. So I think it's part of the experience. But once again, like we could be looking back at this in a couple months and just laughing. Like I think Apex as a whole, as far as just content right now, has been kind of on the downward just because of a few different things. I think when ALGS returns, I expect a big bounce back. I expect a big bounce back. The finals was also taking away from that a little bit, but now the finals is starting to dwindle down too. So I think we'll see a bounce back. But gratitude, 100%. My heart to heart this week, I would probably say it's very similar to yours. I stopped looking at numbers for a while, and then I saw some numbers for like both my shows over this holiday season, and I kind of like had like I froze for a second because I always forget around December through January. It's always the worst. And every single year I tell myself I'm not going to get upset, and then I see it and then I get upset and I go through the same thing. But I think what I was grateful about this time was I'm sending out all my like cards for Spotify Wrapped, the people who had us in the Spotify Wrapped who sent in, their address, and like I'm sending them all like a little thank you card and stuff like that. That was definitely a moment where I was like, wow, like yes, it may not be where I'm at and where I hope to be, and I'd like to be a lot better, but also like all these people are still here riding with us. And so it does feel really, really good. And it puts into perspective that like we can be a positive impact on somebody's every single Thursday. They're locked in, they're ready for me, you, and whoever we've got on the show that week. Like it's like a staple, and we've done a good job at keeping it a staple. And for me, that's like a very big thing to be thankful for, because I have my own shows where like I'm just hoping that it's there to help me get through whatever I need to get through. So for us to be that, I know we're out there for some people, just feels good. So I think gratitude is a good way to summarize the heart to heart this week. Just being grateful for what we do and what we provide, and there's going to be some downward swings, but we can always bounce back, swing back upward. So I think that's a good way to look at it. Ladies and gents, thank you guys for listening this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Vod, he's gonna be the next big thing. I'm a ride with Fallout on this one. I think Fallout's got a great point. I think Vod he's gonna be the next big thing. I think this guy's got it. So check him out. Check out the Oversleepers. He already said, there's gonna be maybe a little bit of an adjustment period for them, and I appreciated that honesty from him. But let's stick with the Oversleepers. Let's see how they do coming up here in Pro League. Ladies and gents, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you click the link down below, you can head into the Discord. I've been much more active in Discord, making sure I talk to everybody, saying what's up, saying what's good, just shooting the shit, talking football, talking Apex, talking whatever. I just like to talk to you guys. That's another part of the gratefulness, is just making sure I make some time and speak to everybody who's in there and takes the time out of their day to type something to me. Because I typically haven't been very good at Discord, but that's because I mute every notification and I don't see anything until I just open the app, which isn't very often on my phone, especially at work. But I'm trying to make a concerted effort to talk to y'all more inside the Discord, say what's up. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, join the Discord, say what's good. And we will catch you guys next week for another episode of the Apex the Podcast. See ya.